folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Catty Crypto here. So let's just dive straight into it. And it's going really well over at the Happy Catty Crypto node. We have breached 14 billion, and I'm more or less relatively quiet on the milestones we've been achieving over at the node, because I don't kind of want to shove it in people's faces too much. But I think 14 billion is a huge milestone for us to have breached, and it means we're going to be burning more next month than we were this month. And we've decided that on the 23rd of every month we'll just perform the burn then, because we need to obviously pay our node cost each month, which is $480 for us. So that's due on the 26th, and obviously we have to send stuff to the exchange to pay that and this, that and the other. But other than that, it's been a month since all of the validators that jumped on board have now jumped on board, so you should see them all burning. Not in all cases, but at least some of them should be burning, and a lot of people are quite well off in a sense that they've got big bags, so I guess burning shouldn't be an issue for them, seeing as in they're so burn driven, so to speak. But we burned 2.6 million this month, which is it's a great deal, because ultimately it's our first month. It's slow going. You're not at that 14 billion point the whole way through that. It was ascending upwards all the way to where we are now. And like I said, next month's going to be so much better, and then the month after that is going to be so much better, just because we're going to be able to burn more. People will see that we're burning more and be like, awesome, definitely going to delegate some coins with them because they're burning stuff. And we are getting close to having an auto compounding system, and this is something we just don't have in place yet, because everybody knows we like to have our own in-house systems. We developed our own staking modules. We have a developer that has the ability to create the most insane things, so to speak, on a dynamic level. And that's kind of what the hatchery is being built around, this dynamic use of smart contracts, and really trying to make the system more interesting for people, and to hopefully give people more ideas. Because if you go over to Twitter, and you'll always see that TFL are consistently posting about the different protocols, the different projects that are working, what's coming down, breakdowns and things like that. And it's really where they put themselves ahead of everything, especially with their audit that they've had done. And everybody coming out of the woodwork now and saying, oh, the correct people have looked at it, and it seems like they did defend the peg the whole way through. So in essence, like, we can't obviously have everything over at Lunar Classic, but what we lack is the amount of people that want to build, the amount of people that want to get involved on a certain scale. And reading through other things on Twitter recently, people are not blind. They see things, especially if you hang around on Twitter, so to speak. So the issue that arose with this casino. I stay well away from gambling and anything like that. I frown upon gambling so heavily, and I know a lot of people say, well, crypto's gambling in itself, and that's kind of a conversation for another time. But in essence, gambling is gambling nonetheless. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying it's bad for the system, and I'm not saying don't do that, because it's a free world. The best way to explain it is nobody can stop anybody from doing anything, and it's as simple as that. At that point, we become less decentralized. We're trying to control things, and it's a free market, and that's kind of what also sets this all aside. Now, with the amount of protocols and different projects and things like that are building over at Luna, it really does make it attractive from the outside to more people. And it would be great if we could get some more stuff coming out of TR, but at the same time, when you do this, there then becomes that kind of level of, are you more or less advertising this stuff, and then do you become accountable for it and stuff? They've got to cover their backs at all corners, because, well, I guess that's just what it comes down to when it's like that, so to speak. But been seeing some real awful stuff on Twitter, and I know a lot of people avoid the negativity and you know, what people see as drama, but sometimes you can gauge some really good stuff as to what's actually going on in the community on the broader perspective and behind the scenes. And with what's been going on recently, it's just like, I wish people would spend more time building things than bickering about, you know, certain things. And we've abstained from both of these multi-signature wallet proposals for the simple fact that, you know, this money has brought nothing but really bad things, and it's like someone's dangling a carrot in front of everybody and allowing us to all run around in circles chasing it. And you know, I can wholeheartedly and honestly say I don't want anything to do with it, and that's why we've abstained from it. We voted yes to the IBC re-enabling because that's an absolute no-brainer. Why would you block something like that? That's going to be really good when that gets reopened. And you know, I was speaking about this smart tax in a previous video, and I think it's a good idea. It can strum up all kinds of issues with day traders. It can strum up issues with getting CEXs to even follow it. And then it also becomes the question of, are CEXs even following the burn tax anyway? Binance are doing it their own way, so you know, you can't really ask them to do it. But getting it on chain, it really could help, but there would have to be a lot of thought put into something like this. And obviously anything like this takes manpower. Someone has to develop that kind of module and how it would work and things like that. But in essence, it is a really good idea because it, you know, it prepares us for any curveballs in the future. The downside would be for day traders that, you know, it would make things a little bit more awkward for them. And then the same with, you know, certain other things with smart contracts and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all food for thought. But, you know, I'm putting a lot of thought kind of into this smart burn tax because, you know, we had the 1.2, everybody thought, well, we all thought, you know, this is going to solve all of our problems, and it just kind of didn't. In fact, you know, a lot of people would think that it made our situation much worse than it was before the burn tax. But, you know, it's one person's opinion to another, and, you know, everybody's allowed to have their own opinions, and it's as simple as that. It's a free market. But we really need to either figure out a way for the burn tax to work and benefit both sides of the ballpark, or we find a better route for burning. And by the way I say that is, we have so many coins, right, that are off chain compared to what we have on chain, right? If you look at what's off chain, you'll understand that, you know, there's a lot of coins for us to get at. And if you've been here for, you know, since May, you'll understand how relevant the Binance Hot Wallet will become as time goes on, because this is where 33.9% of the supply is sitting, and we don't know who owns it. We don't know how we're going to get hold of it. And there's so many if, buts and coconuts in between. Once we get a good burning format, right, where are those coins coming from? How do we get to those coins? And, you know, when you look at all the bickering recently over this multi-signature situation, which is clearly tainted, my own personal opinion, of course, there could be so many more things being done towards burning. And, you know, there's a lot of people who have got a lot to say, yet they're not building anything, they're not burning anything, they're not doing anything, and it's all just a lot of hot air. And the kind of people that are building, like, you know, I saw in our Telegram group, there was a person, they were attacking Lunc down. I just thought, you know, is this what it's come to? People are attacking someone who's burnt over $100,000 of their own node revenue. Like, and we're, you know, we're at a point now where we're just biting the hands that are seriously working to try and build a better future for LUNC. And, you know, it's not always easy for people like that. So I totally get it. But, you know, things are going great. Really looking forward to next month. And I really hope that we get, you know, regardless of what happens with these proposals, from what I can tell, they're both at a stage where they're both going to pass. So they both contradict each other anyway. And, you know, who really is going to get those funds, where they're going to go? All I know is I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't want to be a signer. I don't want a portion of them. I just don't want anything to do with them, because if there's anything wrong with those funds, and when you need to do that many checks and lawyer checks and, you know, all the legal disclaimers and things like that, something's not quite right. And, you know, why has JWAMB not held an AMA or put a tweet out about these funds coming to the Lunar Classic community? We're relying on what we've heard passed down through different people, which could have been Chinese whispered, and, you know, it gets watered down the more people it goes through. And we just, you know, honestly, I would love to hear JWAMB come out and, you know, say there's nothing wrong with the funds. We need to do a sign for them. There's no, you know, you're going to have no problems with it, but we're just not. We don't know who the signers are before. We don't know what legal ties they're involved in or anything like that. And there's just too many unknowns to go ahead with it. And say, for instance, right, we do all of the legal stuff, and from what I can tell, the proposals aim to take the legal cost out of the money. But in the event that the money is tainted and, you know, we can't do anything with it because we'll be legally tied up and obligated to certain things with it, from what I can tell, each proposal makes the community then liable, and then it will look towards our own community pool. Okay, so that's kind of like one scenario. And then the other scenario is the funds go into the community pool, and then the community pool is held and frozen during a legal battle because funds that were supposed to go somewhere else to pay for something with someone else, you know, it's all just a bit too sabotagey, and it leaves too many doors unopened completely. And the things that have been said on Twitter recently just goes to show, and if it's coming from, you know, someone like Zarada, you know, openly stating certain things, which you can go and look for yourself. I'm not going to sit here and stir the pot. You should go do your own research, do your own due diligence, and make up your own mind from it. But it's pretty obvious that, you know, things just aren't sitting right with everything. But nonetheless, we're going to be building like always. We're going to be moving forward as always, and we're going to be burning as always. Super tempted to restart the Lunar Classic Let It Burn channel with a modified system as to which we could cover the tax, a little bit goes to the running costs, and then the rest goes to burn. But the videos we would put up wouldn't be like content videos. They would be like 2 8-minute videos each day, as to which would have some kind of cool burning animation with a couple of Lunar Classic coins being thrown into a fire that's animated, or some funny comics or anything like that. And it literally just be this burn channel, and it will be getting revenue from somewhere else. If that's something you think is a good idea, let me know in the comments section. We are thinking about it here at the HCC factory because things have calmed down quite a bit now, and, you know, I think it's time we start building. When I first started HCC, I didn't plan for anything to actually go anywhere with it. And where we're sitting now, it's become this responsibility, as especially as a node operator and a validator, and, you know, behind all of the different projects that we are behind, you know, it's more and more apparent that people like us need to continue to build and elaborate on what we've got to try and build a future for people. And, you know, not like I was saying, not everybody is able to build, not everybody able to develop things. And if more people like myself can keep building things and keep supporting the community and keep doing all these awesome things, then we're probably going to get a lot further. Hopefully start seeing a lot more burns coming from all these validators, seen as in it literally, when this video drops, it will be the 26th. So, you know, it's a month exactly. So fingers crossed we get a load more coins burnt and stuff like that. Update coming on the hatchery soon if you're looking forward to that. If you're holding a Lunc Penguins NFT, our project is doing amazing. We're paying out huge amounts of rewards already. We're pretty much outperforming most NFT projects that provide staking currently, and our floor price is doing pretty well. So folks, have a really nice Saturday. Hope it's nice weather wherever you are on planet Earth. And I'm not a financial advisor. Beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers, beware of anybody pretending to be me. Beware of anybody posting WhatsApp numbers. That's very important. And just stay say, folks, I'll catch you in the next one.